Thanks so much for joining us for Love Your Local, where we explore all the spaces, places, and people helping folks find their community here in the Carolinas. I'm Vanessa Ruffes, and I'm on the road in West Charlotte at Charlotte-Mecklenburg Animal Care and Control's Toomey Avenue location, the site of a weekly gathering called Zoomie Toomey Run Club. Run Club founder Ricky Highsmith tells me how a passion for running became an obsession to help shelter dogs and a Sunday morning meetup that includes both.
Well, about 2 years ago, I was training with shelter dogs. I was taking them out to train with me, run with me through Asheville, through Charlotte, and I happened to notice another gentleman on Instagram who had ran with a shelter dog. I never knew it was possible with their Staycation program. I came, saw what was going on, and every Sunday since I want to say about 2023, I was running the dogs in Southside Park by myself every Sunday morning, all 20-something dogs. So it was anywhere from a half marathon to a marathon every Sunday morning, and slowly but surely people started showing.
So it's kind of sounds like this started organically. So you started kind of doing this on your own. Other folks got wind of it. Was it like a bring a friend situation at first, where like it was like word of mouth, and then folks were just
it was predominantly word of mouth. I would just show up at other run clubs with dogs with the adoption vest and ask them to join me on Sunday morning. It started with one person. We had about 5 people for, I want to say, 6 months, only 5 people. And within the last month or so, thanks to TikTok and social media, we've had at least 80 people, lines stretched to the road. Yeah.
That's really incredible. I mean, considering too the benefits of, I would say, obviously for the people of getting together, you've got a lot of, common goal, if you will, that's developing with this type of activity. And obviously it's great for the dogs. Yeah. Can you talk about that?
I enjoy everything that we do. A lot of this, like I said, started with training. But once you get these dogs out and you start to realize the enrichment that it brings them, slowing them down, letting them sniff, do their own thing, you start to realize that this run club is more about the dog and not a personal PR. We're not here for time. We're not here to set our best record. We are here to get them out, get them exposed, get them the enrichment that they need, and join with the community.
Yeah, talk about the vibes, what it's like to be, part of a community around other folks who have similar interests. I'm sure there's probably an athletic element that kind of binds everybody together. And also, I'm sure you get a lot of animal lovers too.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the club, again, organically just transitioned into walkers and runners. It was predominantly just runners who would show up. We would run in a pack. Slowly but surely, due to the dogs with medical issues, heartworm, etc., walkers started to come, and that took us through the roof. Once people understood that we could actually walk, we could actually run, it wasn't just forcing them to run 3 miles, it just bloomed.
Yeah. What's the feedback you've heard from folks? What do they tell you about, like, why they come every week or why they decided they wanted to be part of this?
So a lot of people tell me the biggest reason for coming is because they were unaware of the Staycation program that Animal Control offered. This has brought major awareness to that program, but everyone who's come out, they love to work with shelter dogs. Never knew it would be this easy to see them, be with them, work with them. A lot of people think adoption is I instantly have to take them in the house, when in all reality there is a test trial error that they have here at the program, at the shelter. You can take them home, take them out at events, breweries. The breweries are very common in Charlotte with the rescue dogs, so that really helped with getting the club to where it is now. And yeah, it's just so much positive vibes that come from this, so much good responses I get from this. It's just overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, I think about too, sometimes how it can feel, personally as a volunteer myself with the animal shelter, like sometimes it could feel like daunting, like, gosh, there are so many animals that come in on a daily basis. It almost feels like fruitless some days. Like you have to be able to keep your optimism going and your hope going. How do you feel like maybe this run club fuels that, like fills everyone's cups when it comes to like keeping that hope alive?
Sunday mornings are a true blessing. You know, when I see people come in and they realize that we can keep them out longer than 15 minutes, it really helps with getting these dogs adopted, getting them seen. We focus a lot on their profiles, taking the photos. Like I said, when we first started, we were just running and I was trying to keep up with the camera, but it wasn't working that well. So, you know, we slowly slowed it down, and God bless the walkers. They helped us really bring and create a better profile, a better visual for these sheltered animals.
It's tough to get a peek at the shelter needs and the animal needs without maybe even taking it like a step further, because that's how I started. I was like, oh, I'll come in, I'll just walk a couple of dogs, and then it became, oh, staycation, oh, let's foster, oh, let's adopt, or foster fail in this case. You know?
With a lot of volunteers, it started for me with the foster fail with one, which led to 3. And, you know, it just continued to grow. And it's now to a point where I predominantly work with dogs and homeless individuals rather than foster just for the shelter. I work with the homeless community and their pets. I give them temporary respite as a foster. I love everything about what animal control has offered. You know, I wasn't a volunteer for about 2 years. I was a regular outside bringing the dogs out. I started getting dogs adopted in front of the shelter, and I just jumped in the pool and became a volunteer and kept the ball rolling.
I think it's funny that you started with the run, then got into the animals versus the animals going into the run, because I think the animals part, it's like, that's a really overwhelming thing to kind of just jump into.
Yes, it really was. When I first came into the shelter and I took my first dog, honestly, I almost was in tears. I was like, there's no way I could run all of these dogs and save every one of them. So, you know, I did the most when it came to these dogs at Toomey. I literally ran every dog here every Sunday morning in Southside Park. 2 times in a loop is 1 mile. Every dog got about 2 miles. And, you know, these dogs, this program, the Run Club, they've kept me in amazing shape. I've met amazing people, you know, made amazing connections. And I pray and hope that this continues to go a lot further than this.
I don't know if I expected to see the hat and the quarter zip with the Zoomie Toomey, but I guess it makes sense. I mean, is this like a thing now?
This is a thing now. It took me about 2 years to release, only because my primary focus was the dogs. I never wanted this to come off as something for profit. He's here trying to take this, that. They asked me for a year and a half, merch. I said, no merch. The best we could do is a table and a tent. And, you know, once they really explained to me how the nonprofits work, this, that, I said, here's a little merch, you know, but this was always about the dogs. I was very, very timid at releasing it, but we've had this merch for 2 years. We have a whole collection, different lineups, tank tops, children wear, pants, shorts, you name it, we have created it.
When we return, how the Run Club is bringing attention to animal welfare needs in the community and changing lives, both animal and human. With the dozens who gather here for the weekly Zoomie Toomey Run Club, folks aren't just getting a sweat in for themselves, they're also getting the pups a much needed break from the kennels, and in some cases educating themselves on Charlotte's animal welfare needs.
People who've never dealt with this before, it can come off as scary, spooky to bring in a shelter dog you're not familiar with, but when you really step inside and you understand that these aren't vicious animals, these are 9 times out of 10 just scared. You know, I've had dogs who've barked at me from the kennel, got inside, and wanted to do nothing but love. And, you know, for anyone from the outside, I would just say, honestly, give it a try. Start small. Don't start off with anything you can't handle, you know, but it isn't anything to be fearful of.
Do you think that maybe folks don't understand what the need is like?
A lot of folks don't.
Yeah.
A lot of folks don't, because, you know, we're in the South where, you know, breeding is something big here, you know, and it's like a lot of folks don't realize how many good dogs are in the shelter. A lot of folks don't realize how many dogs really need their help out here. So with the Run Club and what we promote, like I said, I hope it reaches many different states with how we get the dogs adopted, how we publicize them, show them the brighter side of life.
For folks who, you know, are maybe hesitant or like fearful, you know, what would you say about what your experience jumping into this taught you?
It made me a lot more compassionate.
Yeah.
A lot more compassionate, you know. When I first got into it, you know, I've always had love for dogs, and when I was a kid, a dog was a dog. I didn't really understand the importance, the love it really required. I got here and I saw how much they really do need us, and it just opened up endless opportunities. To anyone who's never fostered, never adopted, I will strongly recommend you give it a try. You know, even if it's 2-day stay, 1-day stay, any day outside of this kennel is a good day for these dogs.
Yeah. Any like surprises for you, like in the sense of like dogs that you've met along the way that like affected you a certain way or like touched your heart in a certain way? Like talk about that experience.
Yes. So there was a one dog by the name of Lyla that a good friend, volunteer Holly Hayes, had told me to foster when I first started this, and still to this day, after Lyla was adopted, I regretted it endlessly. You know,
because you wanted her?
I wanted to keep her, but she was a dog for one home, you know, and being the path I was about to venture on with fostering and bringing in multiple dogs, she was just a little too reactive. And it was like, I could save so many more lives if I just found her the best home, but that kind of like tore me apart. I slowed down fostering for about 6 months after that because I just didn't really think I could handle another loss like Lyla. But you know, I kept moving forward, and thanks to Holly, who constantly finds a way for me to get a new foster, yeah, it's just, I'm just grateful Lyla ended up somewhere amazing, a life I could not have given her. I'm so grateful for it, you know. But yeah, my first real foster, yeah, tore me apart.
I feel like that answers maybe kind of a common question I get as a foster. Folks are like, how are you able to love on this animal for XYZ number of weeks or months or whatever, and then just let them go? And I have my answer, but I'm curious what your answer is. Like, how is it when you have to let a foster go to a home? Like, how do you deal with it? And also, is there something about the experience that makes it better for you? Like, that makes it, you go, you know what, I can let them go.
Yes. So at first, when I would foster the dogs, I would let them just stay as long as possible until they found adoption. That kind of put me in a position of separation anxiety with these guys, you know. But over the time and with a little experience with fostering, I give them 90 days. After 90 days, I've learned that that's when you start to grow the attachment, the real bond, when they're a part of you. If you keep it in the 90-day adoption, the separation is a little bit easier. It's never going to be smooth. There's a lot of dogs that will come in and they will give you so much love, you don't want to let them go. But when you realize that the constant rotation in the door of dogs that come in on a daily basis, they need you as well. So once you really get over that hurdle of more than just this one needs me, it makes it a little bit easier.
I feel like for myself too, when I get pictures from the family, like here's the dog in their new forever home, here's the kids like loving on the dog, this is my best friend now, like, and I hear like how much the family has, you know, been made whole because of this special soul joining their family. Like, I'm like, okay, this was worth it.
Yes, absolutely. And that actually happened with Lyla, my first foster. When I adopted her out, within 2 days, I instantly offered the family money to adopt her back. Due to their children who had quickly fell in love with Lyla, I just could not break that bond. I saw the children with her and I was like, you know, for my own personal satisfaction, I would not want to snatch her out of these children's lives who could honestly grow up with her and be the best of best friends. And I had to really leave it at that, you know. I'm grateful she found a good family, you know, with a lot of vetting and the fostering and due to the volunteers teaching me everything about vetting process and everything, Lyla found a really, really good home.
Yeah. I guess where do you go from here? Not that you need to go anywhere. I mean, you've definitely done plenty to get the word out and grow this club into what it is, but do you have any like aspirations for seeing it at a certain place or anything like that?
My biggest dream for the Run Club would probably be to save Toomey. You know, animal control, they don't own this building, and it would be amazing if this could turn into like a predominantly adoption center for animal control, ACC, and we still have this park. You know, when I first built the Run Club over here, this park in my mind was the perfect dog park, you know, and then when the gates were installed, it just made it 10 times better. So it's not only has the 2-mile run in a loop, very short, it has the gated play areas that help keep this area alive. And you know, with the impact that the Run Club has made in the run community, in the Staycation program, you know, hopefully things could turn over and they could possibly keep this in their possession for much, much longer.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because like, that's one of the things is like the capacity we always hear about and or just facilities that are in places that are accessible to folks. I mean, it's this story about Toomey is really interesting to me in that it is, from my understanding, the old Humane Society building, and it's really been brought in at a time of need for the shelter. I guess could you talk about like what you've learned about animal needs in Charlotte since you started volunteering?
Yeah, you know, the animal need in Charlotte is huge. You know, it's like every day I see my emails, it's deadlines, shelters filled, and it's like the awareness that this Run Club actually brings has made a huge impact. You know, we've got so many adoptions that come out of here, so many staycations that leave after Run Club. It just truly is a blessing.
When we come back, how Zoomie Toomey Run Club is creating a space well beyond its original purpose, creating a community founder Ricky Highsmith didn't even know he needed until his darkest hour came. Over the years, Zoomie Toomey Run Club has grown from one guy running with a bunch of dogs to dozens of people getting together, having fun and doing some good. And now it's a community of its own. I think like it can be really hard to make friends as an adult. Like I hear folks say this all the time and like really hard to find your space. But like tell me about, you know, that journey for you and probably for the folks who have come to this club about like just finding your people and finding like your crew, if you will.
Yeah, so with me showing up to all of the run clubs and the events with the dogs, I have gained a tremendous amount of friends through this. You know, one of my first adoptions at an event was the Mental Health 5K. Got Coda adopted there, and 3 people came from that event to the Run Club. They were like my first 5 people. Once they got here, they introduced me to Matthew's Run Club, and it was just a chain effect. I was in Ballantyne, all the way down to Rock Hill, and every Run Club, there was some special dog lover there that just was like, can we be a part of this? And one Run Club after another led to this Run Club. You know, and like I said, I'm grateful for everything that Charlotte has brought. Animal control, the run clubs, the run community, they really have done an excellent job with helping keeping this alive. I missed you guys last year.
Yeah.
My son had passed away.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And this community has really been everything to me. The club, keeping the focus, keeping me going, has really been the best thing that has happened to me in Charlotte. And without this Run Club, without the support of the volunteers, the peers around me, I don't know where this would have ended. It was, after that, I wanted to honestly let the club go. I didn't want anything to do with it. I walked away for about 6 months. I gave Holly her kiss, and I was planning to never come back. But, you know, they kept reaching out. Rich, the club is here, it's growing, we'll keep it alive, we'll keep pumping for you, and they really, really helped keep me afloat.
I guess that just kind of speaks to the importance of the community element in that, I mean, y'all came together for this common cause of animals and activity, but people will be there for you in other ways, and maybe ways you never expected that you might need them to be there for you.
Yes. I found so much support in this community that it's unbelievable. You know, when everything transpired with my son, they've reached out in ways that I could never repay them. I could never. And I am so grateful for everyone who volunteers, everyone who participates at Run Club, helps with anything that we do with Zoomie Toomey, because without those folks, I honestly don't know where I would have been today.
Yeah. I think about, you know, some of the people that I've met along the way within the animal space, and not that there aren't great, warm, compassionate people outside of the space. I meet great people everywhere. I feel like I've just been so blessed by the people that I've met in the animal space. There are really some special people working in this space.
They definitely are. You know, I feel like with what we do, it only brings out the best in people. It's going to bring the best of people. We never have any type of commotion because everyone here is on the same mission. Get these dogs the attention that they need, help save a life. And you know, when you have that type of love and compassion in your heart, it's nothing but good energy. Every Sunday we have the best vibes, especially adding the latte trucks and the coffee. That just put the club through the roof. And I am, like I said, grateful for the vendors that come help support. You know, they really helped settle the crowds, because we were having crowds where we had to turn them away because we had no more dogs. Now that we have the vendors, the beverages, the pup cups, it makes it a more inviting, happy environment.
That's so incredible. Yeah, this is really blown up in the best way. Yeah. But my final question for you, how would you recommend people learn about or get involved with animal-related causes? Because somebody might be like, well, I don't know if I'm quite ready to do this, but I want to dip my toe in somewhere. What would you recommend?
I would recommend showing up Sunday mornings for Run Club. That's number one. But yeah, just stopping in your local animal shelter, observing what's going on, asking questions is the main thing. You're never going to be the best foster until you attempt it. That's really what it is. Everyone is capable of doing it. I've taken in a tremendous amount of fosters, you know, and it only starts with just one.
The fun with a purpose that is Zoomie Toomey Run Club has really blossomed into a force of its own, bringing folks together to get active and to be active in the animal welfare space. Until next time, keep on exploring all the special spaces, places, and people that make the Carolinas a unique place to live, and we'll see you next time for another reason to love your local.